Welcome to Learn English 30 Days, the podcast that will make your English from okay to good and from good to great. Today's episode is for beginners and intermediate learners. The name of this episode is Why You Must Read. My students often ask me, why should I read an English book? They think, I go to spoken English class, I do my homework, I watch English movies, I don't need to read. I tell them, reading is the best way to improve your English. I will tell you why. First, reading is extremely important right now. In 2006, only 1 out of 100 people attended university. Now, 7 out of 100 people attend university. All jobs require more reading and writing than 100 years ago. This holds true for everyone. It makes no difference whether you work in an office or as a cook or mechanic. Second, reading is the most effective way to improve your speaking, writing, vocabulary and grammar. It will not only improve your English listening skills, but it will enhance your vocabulary. And having a better vocabulary allows you to listen more easily, which improves your listening skills. You probably have read before boring textbooks or stories that are boring. But here, I am not talking about that. I'm talking about reading for pleasure. That means reading a book because you enjoy it, not because your teacher said, read this book. You are not reading because you think, I should read this book, but you are reading because you want to. In 1965, they did an experiment in schools of America. This experiment was on boys of those schools who stole things. They gave those boys some interesting English books, like James Bond. But they told them you are not necessarily need to read these books, you can do whatever you want, but the boys did read the books. Some boys read a book every 2 days. After 2 years, they gave the students a test. The students who read the books got better at reading and writing, and they liked school more. The students who did not read the books did not get better at reading and writing. Actually, some of them got worse. One more experiment they did on students learning English in Fiji Islands. They used 3 ways to teach. The first way was normal English teaching. They did grammar classes, exercises and so on. The second way was reading in silence. The students read books in class. The third way was reading together. They read books to the students. After a year, the 2 methods of reading, first reading in silence, and second, reading together, were the best. They were much better than the students who took regular English classes. The same experiment was repeated in Singapore. The students who took grammar classes performed worse on grammar tests. The students who read in silence did exceptionally well. They performed the best on grammar tests. Reading an interesting book in English can help you get better at English in many ways. First, it helps you learn new words and understand how sentences are put together. When you read, you see different words being used in different ways, which can help you remember them better. It's like adding more tools to your toolbox for speaking and writing. Also, when you read stories or articles, you start to understand how English speakers express themselves. You learn about different situations, characters, and ideas, which makes your English skills grow. Reading also helps you understand grammar without having to memorize rules. Instead, you see how words fit together naturally in sentences, which makes it easier to use them correctly when you speak or write. Plus, when you read in English, you learn about different cultures and ways of thinking. You see the world through the eyes of the author, which broadens your perspective.